down grade hit pretty near 40 miles an hour.
I meant in the aeroplane.
Oh, no. A fella needs a car out here. I'm still single, you know. I figured to date me a Hollywood cutie.
I ain't got no time for dating. Like I told you on the telephone, I got troubles and I need your... What in blue blazes are you doing with all of them guns?
Well, when you said you had trouble, I figured we'd need shooting iron.
You ain't never fired a gun in your life.
I can load for you.
The kind of trouble I got calls for brains, not guns.
I brung them too. What's the problem?
Ellie fell in love with a frog.
What?
Well, he ain't all... Now, what do you want?
I want to know what you two are supposed... Oh, hey, look at the guns. Hey, are you starting a feud? Is that it? Hey, can I be on your side? Or who we fight?
Leave the guns alone. Just take Shorty's suitcases in the house.
Gee whiz, Granny. I want to know what y'all is doing.
Like I told you, it's for me to know and you to find out.
Granny, must have dust in my ear. It sounded like you said Ellie had fell in love with a frog.
Well, he ain't all frog, just half. He's what you call a naval frogman. From the navel down, he's frog.
You joking?
And that ain't the worst of it. When he gets into the water, he goes all frog.
Does Ellie know?
She don't care. He has thrown some kind of a spell over her.
You mean they might get married?
Ain't that a frightening thought? That's why I sent for you. You gotta help me stop him.
Why me?
'Cause you're the only one I can turn to. You're from back home. You're a hill man. You got horse sense.
So Jed.
He used to have. Now he's got water on the brain just like the rest of the family.
No.
That frogman has got Jed believing that he can farm the ocean.
Farm the ocean?
Ain't it pitiful? I tell you, everybody but me has gone stark raving.
Well, look who's here. Shorty Kellums, how are you?
Fine, Jed, fine. How's yourself?
Why, I couldn't be better. What brings you out here to California?
Well, Granny called long distance and said...
Invited him out for the holidays.
Yeah, that's it. Said we'd have a white Christmas together.
White Christmas in Beverly Hills?
Ain't you heard? We're gonna have white smog this year.
Well, anyways, glad to have you out here, Shorty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go talk to Mr. Drysdale about my new project.
What project is that, Jed?
What they call oceanography, Shorty. It's, farming the oceans and such.
Well, did I tell you?
You're right, Granny. The man's gone soft in the loft.
Now you can see why I need you.
Yeah. I'll go wash up, and we'll put our heads together.
Fine. Mark!
Hi, Granny. Whose car?
Oh, it belongs to a feller from back in the hills.
Certainly carries an arsenal. I wouldn't want to cross him.
Oh, he wouldn't. What did you say, Mark?
I wouldn't want a fellow that well armed mad at me.
How'd you know?
Know what?
That he was mad at you.
Why would he be mad at me?
You mean Ellie didn't tell you about him?
Told me what?
That they was engaged back in the hills?
No.
Oh, yes. Ellie was promised to him when she first come of marrying age. 12.
Who is he? What's his name?
Kellums. Killer Kellums.
Killer.
Oh, he's the best shot back in the hills. And he's vowed to drop you on sight because you stole his girl.
I'm sure glad he left his guns in the car.
Oh, them is just his outside guns. He's in there waiting for you with his inside guns.
Strange that Ellie never...
Never mind that. Just be glad that I seen you before the killer did. Or he'd put so many holes in you, you'd throw a polka dot shadow.
Forgot my shaving kit, Granny. Howdy. My name's Kellums.
Kellums?
That's right.
Yeah, meet the killer.
I'm Shorty. Glad to meet you, killer. you've said enough. Now you listen to me, and you listen good. I don't care what Mark Templeton says. I say oceanography is baloney. Farming the ocean is baloney. And you're not taking one red penny out of this bank for any such nonsense. Is that clear, Mr. Clampett?
I thought you were being a tiger all of a sudden.
I am a tiger, and I'm going to stay a tiger. I've decided there's only one way to handle a simple man like Jed Clampett. That's with force, power, authority.
Well, bully for you, but you happen to be wrong about oceanography.
Says who?
Says every thinking scientist and ecologist in the world. Well, we must save our oceans from pollution. Our environment is in terrible danger. The very existence of our planet is at stake.
Is it going to cost money?
Well, of course.
Then it's baloney. And that's what Jed Clampett is going to hear right from the tiger's mouth.
Miss Jane, Mr. Drysdale, I know you're busy, and I won't take a minute. I just want to say that I've made up my mind to put a heap of money into the study of oceanography.
Is that your final decision?
Yes, sir, it is.
Beautiful.
What?
I'm with Mr. Clampett 100%.
I thought oceanography was baloney.
You see what I have to contend with right here in my own bank? Miss Hathaway, can't you understand? We must save the ocean from pollution. Our environment is in terrible danger. The very existence of this planet is at stake.
Chief, you are not to be believed.
Mr. Clampett, please me. Right, sir?
That's right, I do. And I'm kind of surprised at you, Miss Jane. Generally, you're real smart.
Well, not with this. When it comes to oceanography, she has a blind spot.
Chief, you are the lowest, the most...
Go ahead, revile me. Call me names. But I stand with Mr. Clampett, and so does every thinking scientist and ecologist in the world.
How can you be so completely...
Not another word. Mr. Clampett and I have taken enough abuse from you. Now get out of my office.
Chief.
Out! No, or you'll be fired.
I don't know how much more of this humiliation I can stand. I try so hard to be honest and efficient, and all I get is...
I'm sorry that I had to turn into a tiger like that. But I decided the only way to handle a simple woman like Miss Hathaway is with force, power, authority.
Yeah, but you got her bawling.
Oh, not me, Mr. Clampett. Fear. The fear that you'll withdraw your money from this bank and she'll be out of work.
Well, I don't aim to draw it all out. Maybe just half.
Well, even half would upset her.
Miss Jane, I'm sorry, but I think it's only fair for me to haul off and tell you that I'm going to draw half of my money out of this bank and spend it on oceanography and ecology and such. That seemed to make her real happy.
That was hysteria.
Well, damage is done, so let's go on down to the cashier and get the money.
No, wait. That might push her over the edge emotionally. Let me bring it to you later.
Well, whatever you think is best.
I'll leave it to me.
Well, Chief, your duplicity did not work. Despite all your devious conniving, honesty and virtue have triumphed.
Cashier, make out a certified check for $48 million. Charges at the Clampett account.
Wonderful.
Also, send up 2 husky guards and a straitjacket.
Chief, who's the straitjacket for? Chief, who's the straitjacket for? Chief, what do you intend to do with the straitjacket?
All ready for victuals, Granny.
I thought you was gonna shave.
What made you think that?
Well, you came to get your shaving kit out of the car.
I don't keep no razor in there.
What do you keep in there?
Aftershave lotion.
What do you need that for if you don't shave?
Drives the women wild.
Well, you spoiled everything. I had Mark Templeton believing that you was a killer.
I am a killer. Lady killer.
Shorty Kells!
Hello, Ellie Mae.
Sure is good to see you again.
Don't hug him, Ellie. He thinks he's a lady killer already.
Well, it's just a back-home friendship hug, Granny.
Well, if you want to show him some back-home friendship, give him a kiss.
Kiss?
Yeah, go on. A great big smooch.
Do what your granny says.
Hurry up, Ellie. Mustn't disturb the lovers' reunion.
Lovers?
How about one for the road?
Shorty, you're a rascal.
How about one for the rascal?
They are doing a lot of kissing.
Naturally. Like I told you, them two got engaged years ago.
On the level?
No, back in the hills. Now, you run along and forget about Ellie. Them two will be tying the knot any day now.
She can't marry him. He's too old.
Oh, don't let his looks fool you. Them whiskers hides the face of a boy.
You certainly do.
Now, I'll tell Ellie that you wished her every happiness. So long, Mark.
Can't go without seeing her. I want to know why she never mentioned Mr. Collins before.
Oh, don't blame her. It was her pa that promised her hand.
When she was 12?
Yeah. Folks was beginning to call her an old maid.
Well, they get married early back in the hills, but couldn't her father have found someone younger and maybe better looking?
Mark, you gotta understand that Jed was poor as a church mouse in them days. Mr. Kellums was wealthy. He offered Jed a mule.
A mule? For his only daughter?
The way Jed felt about it, he wasn't losing a daughter. He was gaining a mule.
What's going on?
Oh, Jed, you're just in time to say goodbye to Mark. He has to rush away.
No, I don't. And I'd like to talk to Mr. Clampetts.
He's too busy.
No, I'm not. What do you want to talk about, Mark?
Ellie and the mule?
Ellie and the mule.
You remember that, Jed? Ellie and the mule, dee-dum-doo. Ellie and the mule, dee-dum-doo. Jed had the plow and that's his how. That's what happened to Ellie and the mule. That's a dandy.
Granny, what are you up to?
The second chorus. Ellie and the mule,
Now, wait a minute. Just settle down.
Granny, I wish you hadn't made me kiss Shorty. That rascal wouldn't turn me loose.
Granny made you kiss him?
No, it was love that done it.
I don't love Shorty. He's just my friend.
Weren't you engaged to marry him?
Marry Shorty? Course not.
What made you think that, Mark?
Granny told me.
Granny told you?
She said you promised Ellie to Shorty when she was 12 years old.
Granny said that?
Said your father traded you for a mule.
That's terrible.
Where you going, Granny?
You all thrash this out amongst yourselves. I don't want to get mixed up in other folks' problems.
Oh, hi, Mr. Drysdale. I was just calling you about the money.
And here it is, Mr. Clampett. A certified check for $48 million. I'm sorry for the delay, but we had a little problem with Miss Hathaway.
What kind of problem?
Well, there's nothing to worry about. I'll see that she gets the best of care.
Care? What's wrong with her?
Now, let me worry about her. You just have a good time spending all this money.
Mr. Drysdale, what happened to Miss Jane?
Well, unfortunately, she got a look at this check. But the doctor says a couple of years in a sanitarium, and she'll be just fine.
Sanitarium? Mr. Drysdale, wait a minute. I want to... Miss Jane!
Ah! Don't get too close. It took 2 husky guards and me to get her into that straitjacket.
I think she's trying to tell me something. Let me get that gag out of her mouth.
No. Be glad it's there. When she saw that check, she started screaming, calling you names. Oh, shocking.
I feel terrible.
Oh, forget it. What's one secretary compared to the importance of spending $48 million to grow seaweed?
Miss Jane, I can't let this happen to you. Now watch. You see this old check? And tear it up into little bitsy pieces. Look at her, Mr. Drysdale. She feels better already.
Bless you, my friend. A small loss for oceanography, a giant gain for humanity.
Now, you're going to be all right, Miss Jane. Don't you worry about a thing. You take good care of her, Mr. Drysdale.
Oh, I will. How soon he's feeling, Granny?
Oh, in about a half hour or so. What in tarnation is that get up for?
Oh, I'm going down to Cement Pond and get a look at that Mark Templeton. I ain't never seen a fellow that's half frog.
Well, don't let him get you into the water, or he'll turn you into a frog.
You joshing.
Oh, no, I ain't. And if that happens, there's only 2 ways to turn your back.
What are they?
Take you to Dr. Cleaner, or get you kissed by a pretty girl.
I'll take the pretty girl.
This ain't no joking matter now, now, Shorty. If that naval frogman gets you into the water, you're a goner.
Oh, stop worrying, Granny. He ain't gonna turn me into no frog.
Well, you see that he don't. I want you the way you are, such as it is.
So, in order to keep Miss Jane from going plumb out of her mind, I tore up the check.
Oh, Paul.
That's a shame.
Oh, well, I haven't changed my mind about oceanography. Quick as she's herself again, we'll work something out.
Good. It's a wonderful cause.
And right interesting, too. Ellie tells me we're going to be using critters like that to help us farm the ocean.
That's right. Excuse me, I'll go slip out of this gear and get dressed.
I'll get dressed, too. Here, Paul, you can play with the seal. If he does good, be sure to reward him with a little piece of fish.
All right, now remember, don't say nothing to Granny about you having that critter.
Oh, I won't, Paul.
All right, fella, let's see what you can do.
You leaving, Ellie?
Oh, yes, sir, Shorty. Gonna get dressed and help Granny with the vittles.
Hi, Jed.
Hi, Shorty.
Where's that there frog feller?
Oh, he's in the dressing room putting his clothes on.
Doggone it. I wanted to get a look at his frog legs and his flippers.
Well, go on in. He'll show them to you.
He will?
Sure.
He ain't self-conscious about it, huh?
Not at all.
Hot dog, I ain't never... Oh. What's that thing?
That's a seal.
Well, I declare. I've never seen one of them things before.
They don't have them back in the hills. They're the ocean critter.
Cute little rascal. He got whiskers just like me.
Yeah, he does favor you a mite.
Now, I'll see you at Vittles, Jed.
All right, Shorty.
Granny, I'll get dressed and help you.
Oh, thank you, darling. Is Shorty down at the cement pond?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. I best go fetch her.
Oh, no, ma'am. Don't go down to Cement Pond.
Why not?
Well, it's awful cold down there, and you might freeze. Now, you wait here. I'll be right back.
Her with bare legs, and I might freeze. What kind of foolishness is that? I best go see what's going on.
Where are you going, Granny?
Down the cement pond.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Why not?
Well, it's awful hot.
Ellie says it's cold.
Well, it's both. The air's hot and the water's cold.
Jed, what is it that you and Ellie don't want me to see?
Well, you're going to find out sooner or later. You might as well go on down there and get all the screaming and yelling over with.
Is it that bad?
Oh, we don't think so, but it's likely to rouse you.
Land sakes. It's happened. Shorty, I hear you splashing around, but where are you? It's you, all right. You still got your whiskers, but you ain't a frog. What are you?
Well, Granny, go ahead. Let off steam. Get it over with.
Mark Templeton done this, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
How come he ain't a frog?
Well, a frog wouldn't be no help to us farming the ocean.
Farming the ocean?
Yeah, Mark says we're going to use that little fella for a farm animal. He's going to fetch and carry for us.
You aim to make a beast of burden out of him?
I won't hurt him. He likes it. Watch here. That's a good fella. Here you are.
What was that?
Well, every time he does a good job, I give him a piece of raw fish.
Jed? Well, you're in for trouble now, Shorty Kellums. The doctor's out of town. Well, you set up here at the table, and I'll fetch you some hot victuals.
Smells like corn, pone, hog jowls, and turnip greens. How soon is victuals?
Nobody gets fed until I take care of that poor little fellow over yonder.
What's he doing up at the table?
Waiting for hot victuals.
Mark feeds him raw fish.
You can tell that 5 feet away. But from now on, he gets treated decent.
You don't feed our kind of victuals to an animal like that.
Don't call him an animal.
That's what Mark calls him.
It's Mark that should be called an animal. His name is Shorty.
Right fitting name. Well, let's get the bathrobe off him.
No, you don't. He ain't sitting in my kitchen, jaybird naked.
He ain't supposed to wear clothes. He's a water critter.
Thanks to your friend, the frogman.
Well, Mark says when we go to farm in the ocean, critters like him will be dandy little workhorses.
Mark Templeton is an inhuman monster.
Now, Granny.
Who's his next victim gonna be? Me? What's he gonna do, turn me into a turtle?
You ain't making sense. I'm going to take this little fella back down to Cement Pond.
You keep your hands off of him and get out of my kitchen.
But Mark says he belongs in the water.
You send Mark in here to see me. I got a few words to say to him.
Now, Granny, don't fly off the handle.
You send him in here. I ain't in no mood to be crossed.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, Shorty, why didn't you listen to me and stay out of the water? Now look at you, you poor little goomer. You can't go back to Silver Dollar City and run a hotel looking like that.
What you doing with the seal in the kitchen?
I don't know, but she wants you in there, too.
Uh-oh. Looks like I'm gonna catch the dickens.
I'm afraid so. You want me to go in with you?
No, seal was my idea. I'll face the music.
We ain't likely to get victuals till you do. Oh, let me give you a little tip. She has named the seal Shorty.
Thanks, I'll remember.
Come in.
Hello, Granny. Hi, Shorty. Something sure smells good in here.
Well, it ain't him. I can tell you that.
Shorty, you shouldn't be in the house. I'll put you back in the pond.
No. He's sitting right here and gonna eat hot victuals.
Nothing but raw fish for him.
Now, let me tell you this. He ain't going back to the cement pond, and he ain't eating no more raw fish.
Well, Granny, if you feel that way, I'll just take him down and drop him in the ocean.
That does it. Now, hear this, sailor boy. I'm going from a shotgun. And when I come back, Shorty Kellums better be sitting in this chair. And I mean Shorty Kellums himself. And not this poor-looking, pitiful critter.
Well, I'll do my best. You heard her, Shorty. Let's go find the other Shorty.
I wouldn't go in there yet, Shorty.
Ain't victuals ready?
They might be, but Granny ain't.
Shorty, come here, quick.
What you on?
Sit down at the table. Hurry.
I don't want to eat like this.
Shorty, please, you gotta be sitting at that table before Granny gets back.
I ain't washed up yet.
Sit here. I will be.
I wish I knowed what this is all about.
Shorty! Oh, Shorty, darling, I'm so happy to see you.
Don't squeeze me too hard, Granny. I'm awful holler. I ain't ate since morning.
Shorty, I'm going to give you the greatest meal you ever had in your whole life.
Hallelujah.
It'll make you forget what that frogman done to you.
You mean Mark?
Mark the monster.
He ain't no monster. He's a nice feller.
Shorty, have you forgot the terrible thing that he done to you?
He didn't do nothing terrible. In fact is, Granny, he's an officer and a gentleman, and I like him.
You do, huh?
Yes, Mom. Now, how about that meal you promised me?
Okay. Here you are.
I don't think I'd call this the best meal I ever had.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're out of that straitjacket, Miss Jane. Now, when I come down to take out my money, it won't upset you all over again, will it?
Of course it won't upset me. I'm perfectly fine. That straitjacket was Mr. Drysdale's invention.
Oh, he's a clever fella. It fit you real good.
Oh, he's clever, all right. He's my #1 nemesis.
Well, I'm glad to hear he's your friend. I'll see you down the bank.
You going to the bank, Jed?
That's right, Shorty. I'm going to take out some money.
I'll drive you. I'm going to take out something myself.
Hathaway. Here's the certified check you ordered for $48 million, charged against Mr. Clampetts' account.
Thank you, Miss Gordon. This is a moment of great triumph for me.
What do you mean?
A similar check was issued earlier. But to keep Mr. Clampett from using it, that unprincipled scoundrel had 2 guards force me into a straitjacket and gag me. And then he told Mr. Clampett that the idea of his withdrawing all that money had driven me mad.
What a terrible man.
Indeed he is. I shall take great delight in watching him scream and yell and climb the walls in fury and frustration.
Can I watch too?
Oh, be my guest. Chief, it gives me great pleasure to announce that Mr. Jed Clampett is on his way to this temple of greed to withdraw $48 million.
Really?
Yes, and I want you to know that this is a great moment for me.
For me too, Miss Hathaway.
I've tried to tell you that honesty is the best policy. What'd you say?
As I was driving to the bank this morning, I almost had a collision with a huge truck.
Oh.
Suddenly, my whole life flashed before me. I saw in terrifying detail all the mean and petty things I've done. The schemes I had to get money, the lies I've told, the people I've wronged.
Chief.
I lived again those many times when you counseled the course of truth and justice. But I chose greed and avarice. You pointed to the high road, but I took the low road. I said to myself, Milburn, put your house in order. You never know when you'll be summoned to stand before that great bank examiner in the sky. And so I say to you, Miss Hathaway, and bear witness, Miss Gordon, I'm deeply sorry for my transgressions against you and deeply grateful for your never-failing loyalty and friendship. I think you deserve a reward.
My reward is seeing this glorious transformation take place in you, that there's awakening to the power of truth, honor.
As always, your sentiments are noble and unselfish. But I insist you accept this token of my gratitude.
$100?
Ah, it's little enough. Just take the rest of the day off and go out shopping. Do you like working here, Miss Gordon?
Oh, I certainly do.
Yeah, would you like to continue working here?
Oh, indeed I would.
Fine, fine. Now, I have 2 jobs for you. Oh, you'll find a nurse's uniform in that dressing room there. Put it on.
A nurse's uniform?
Yes, when Mr. Clampett arrives, you're going to be my keeper.
I don't understand.
Oh, you will. The second job is to stop payment on Miss Hathaway's check.
Mr. Drysdale, I'm terribly disillusioned.
I'll make a note of it.
But I thought you had changed.
What gave you that idea?
Well, you said your whole life flashed before you.
It did. I loved it. Now get in there.
Yes, sir.
Is that you, Mr. Drysdale?
I am the Emperor of France. Josephine, who is this man?
Well, you know me. I'm Jed Clampett.
Are you from Wellington?
Oh, sir, I'm from Bug Tussle.
You're not a member of my staff? They're all here.
Well, no, Mr. Drysdale.
I am Napoleon Bonaparte.
Well, okay, Mr. Bonaparte. I just come down here to draw out my money.
No? Just when my poor armies are retreating across the frozen steppes of Russia?
Well,
But my brave men are freezing. They're starving. They need food. They need clothing. Oh, please, don't withdraw your support now. They'll perish.
I don't want to starve or freeze nobody.
Oh, thank you. All of France thanks you. This is the highest decoration my country can bestow.
I think I better be going.
Wait, I have another medal for you.
Well, you keep it, Mr. Drysdale. It looks real good on you.
Hey, Granny, watch out. You're going to brain somebody.
It won't be nobody in this family. They ain't got nothing to bring. Put all my stuff in the truck. You're driving me to the airport.
Where you going, Gran?
I'm going back home to the hills, where man is men and fish is fish, and they stays that way.
Please don't go back to the hills, Granny.
I got to, Jethro. I can't stay around and watch Ellie Mae being married to that frogman. And there don't seem no way that I can stop it.
I'm begging you, Granny, please don't go.
Oh, bless you, boy. I didn't think nobody would care.
I care. If you go, I'll die.
No, you won't.
Oh, yes, I will. I'll have to eat Ellie's cooking.
You're all heart, boy. Put my stuff out. Wait a minute. Ellie's cooking. You have just given me the greatest idea.
I'm always coming up with great ideas. What was this one?
And never mind. Where's Ellie?
She's out in the kitchen with Mark. They's doing the dishes. Oh, hey, Granny, what was that great idea I come up with?
Take my bags up to my room. Mark, my, don't you look handsome? And here's pretty little Ellie Mae in her apron. I declare you two are the picture of domestic bliss.
Well, we thought the least we could do is wash the dishes.
Yes, ma'am, after that wonderful meal you cooked.
Look who's calling who a wonderful cook. As if you ain't never tasted any of her victuals.
I never have.
You're joking.
No?
Ellie Mae, am I to understand that you have never cooked a meal for this man?
You always told me to stay out of the kitchen.
Until the right man come along. And here he is. Now, show him what you can do.
How about I cook supper for you tonight, Mark?
Wonderful.
What would you like?
Well, why don't you make him one of your out-of-this-world meatloaves? That's her pa's favorite.
Well, Pa says you can't eat it.
You can't beat it. Yeah, that's what she says, all right.
Well, what else should I make?
Why don't you make him some of them great big donuts?
I love donuts.
Oh, hers ain't to be believed.
Sounds like I'll be in heaven tonight.
Oh, we won't let you eat that many.
Hi, Jet. Shorty, what you doing with Mr. Drysdale's nurse?
When I went looking for you, I found her and fetched her home for a swim.
Actually, Mr. Clampett, I came to give you this.
Well, doggies, this is my check for $48 million. Mr. Drysdale must be all right, good as ever.
Well, he's as good as ever. But I wouldn't call that all right.
Jed, you reckon Ellie's got a swimming suit that fit this little doll?
I reckon so. Come on in.
You will stay for a swim, won't you, Liz?
Well, I might as well, Shorty. I'm going to get fired anyway.
How come?
Well, Mr. Drysdale doesn't know about that check.
All right, Miss Gordon, you can change out of your nurse's uniform. Miss Gordon?
Dear Napoleon, welcome to Waterloo. The check and I are at Mr. Clampett's. Au revoir, Josephine.
Kill her!
That's right, Shorty. Show off for your new girlfriend. Come on.
I see you brought home another seal.
Yeah, Shorty, you're getting lonesome.
Granny's gonna hit the roof.
No, she won't. She likes me now.
Granny does?
Yeah, we're great friends.
Since when?
Since I changed out of my uniform.
And that done it?
It sure did. She walked into the kitchen, saw me dressed like this, and we were instant buddies.
Well, if that don't beat all.
This is really my lucky day. Ellie's cooking supper for me.
Whose idea was that?
Granny's?
Uh-oh.
Something wrong?
Not yet.
Granny said Ellie's cooking is not to be believed.
She right about that. I'll see you directly.
You ready, Liz?
How's it going in there? You ready for a swim, gorgeous?
No, I ain't.
No, I'm sorry, Granny. I knocked on the wrong door.
You sure did. You ain't getting me in that cement pond.
Granny, I thought you was my date.
I wouldn't date you if you was the last man on earth.
Listen, Granny.
Now you listen. If you ain't got sense enough to stay on dry land, that's your bad luck. But don't try to change me into no water critter.
I wouldn't do that.
And quit trying to lure me into the pond with that sweet talk.
That's who I was talking to. Yonder comes my date.
I'm ready, Shorty.
She's your date? That child? Why, you look like her father.
I do? He must be a handsome rascal. Elizabeth, this here's Granny. She knows your father.
Really?
Don't pay any attention to him. And don't go in the water with him. It's dangerous.
Oh, I'm an excellent swimmer.
Yeah, come on, Liz.
Honey, it ain't that. When he gets wet, he turns into the funniest looking little water goomer you've ever seen.
I don't care. I think he's kind of cute.
But wait a minute. If that don't scare you, listen to this. There's a great big frogman down there.
Really?
And if you get into the water with him, you know what will happen?
Well, I've got a pretty good idea. I used to date one.
Come on, Liz.
Coming, Shorty. The whole thing sounds real groovy.
Well, here it is, Paul. My out-of-this-world meatloaf.
Well, would you look at that? How come you didn't make it around?
Well, it's for Mark, and he's especially fond of meatballs, but Granny said make a meatloaf, so I made it in the shape.
How about meatball?
Yes, sir.
That's mighty clever, you, Ellie.
Oh, thank you, Paul. But you just dying for a taste?
Yeah, but I'm going to fight it.
Well, excuse me. I gotta fetch some things out of the root cellar.
Fine.
Ellie, how you coming with that? See you
Hold
later.
it, Granny.
What'd you say?
I said hold it.
All right, I'll hold it. But what is it?
It's that meatloaf you had Ellie make for Mark to eat, only I'm going to make you eat it.
Oh, you wouldn't do that, would you, Jed?
I won't on one condition. You make another one that looks just like that, only good.
Well, what will I do with this one?
Get rid of it. And another thing, tell our company that supper will be a little late tonight.
You're a hard man, Jed. Jethro, get rid of this for me.
Oh, what is it, Granny?
It's a meatball. Is Shorty and Elizabeth up at the cement pond?
Yes, ma'am.
They didn't go in the water.
Oh, yes, ma'am. They's changing now.
Oh, mercy, I'm too late. Shorty, Elizabeth, where are you? Shorty, why did you have to do it again? And Elizabeth, I pleaded with you. You were so pretty. Now look at you. Shorty, you old rooster. Can't you get your mind off of that for 1 minute?
Hello, Granny. I'm looking for Mr. Clampett.
What kind of a get-up is that?
Oh, never mind. I have to see Mr. Clampett about a check.
Well, he's around here someplace.
I'll find him. Oh, have you seen anything of a beautiful brunette secretary from my bank?
Is her name Elizabeth?
That's it. Where is she?
Swimming with Shorty. Come over here, Elizabeth. Your boss wants to see you.
This is Elizabeth?
Now calm down, Bessie. Bessie? Come on, give me a kiss.
Hey, how about a frogman getting in on some of the kissing?
Okay. Who you want to kiss first, Shorty or Bessie?
Stay right there, and I'll show you.
Ellie Mae, you know what I just found out?
What, Paul?
Shorty Kellums told me why Granny was so dead set against Mark. She thinks... What's this critter want?
She wants to give you a kiss.
Let's just settle for a handshake.
What was that about Granny and me?
Pa's found out why she don't like you.
I already know, because I'm a naval frogman.
Yeah, but to her, that means from your navel down, you're a frog.
You're joking.
Oh, and seeing you like this wearing the bottom half of your suit, that convinced her.
No wonder she's been trying to bust us up.
She thinks I'm a freak.
And that ain't all. She thinks you can turn other folks into water critters like seals and frogs just by getting them in the cement pond.
Oh, boy.
Poor Granny. I bet she's been worried half out of her mind.
I'm going up and get her now. And Mark, you show her how you shuck out your rubber suit.
Right.
That ought to end all our suffering and misery.
Hey, Granny, can I please have another helping of grits?
Jethro, how long have you been eating breakfast now?
Oh, shucks, as long as I can remember.
I mean, how many helpings of grits have you had?
Well, a couple of million, I reckon.
I'm talking about this morning.
Oh, this morning. Probably no more than a dozen.
Is there no bottom to that stomach of yours?
Well, it ain't just a stomach, your feet. Sitting up there is a giant brain. That rascal gets hungry.
Granny, would you please come down to cement pond with me?
I'd be glad to. Anything to get out of this kitchen. It seems like there's nothing but work, work, work. That's all I ever. Where'd you say we was going?
Cement pond?
What for?
Well, you'll find out when you get there.
Is Ellie's frog boomer down there?
Yeah, he's waiting for you. Come on.
Oh, what are you aiming to do to me?
We aim to put an end to all your worries and miseries. Now, don't be scared. Come on.
You're gonna drown me.
No, yeah.
Yes, you are. Jethro, save me.
Okay, Granny. Quick as I finish eating these grits.
Come on, Granny.
Oh, please, Jed. I got a lot of good years left in me yet. I'll work hard. I won't complain, but don't drown me.
Granny.
Hey, it's a terrible way to go. I'm so scared of water.
Granny, will you listen to me?
If you're determined to get rid of me, make it quick and merciful. Stop me. Here, I'll make it easy for you. Stop me.
Jethro, you tote your Granny down to the cement pond.
Yes, sir, but you gonna drown her?
No, I'm not gonna drown her.
So what are you gonna do?
Him and that frogman will likely turn me into some kind of a water critter.
Turn her into a duck. I love duck eggs.
Help! Please! Help! Help! Police! He's fixing to murder an old lady over here.
Granny, hush up. Tote her over there to Mark.
Please, Jethro, don't let that frog monster have me. Ellie, don't let Mark change me into a duck.
A duck?
Jethro wants to eat my eggs.
Granny, all I want to do is show you that I'm not part frog.
Of course you ain't. Of course you ain't. You're a beautiful man. Perfect. Can I go now, Jet?
Show her, Mark.
He sheds his skin like a snake. Save me, boy. Don't let him get your old granny.
Look, Granny, it's just a rubber suit.
He ain't no water critter.
And he can't turn nobody else into one, neither.
So you don't have to be scared of him no more.
What gave you the idea that I was scared? Jed, I am the happiest woman in the whole world. Today is my granddaughter's wedding day.
Wedding day.
Well, why not? There's nothing to keep her and Mark from getting married now.
Well, there's one thing. He ain't asked her.
I'll take care of that.
Oh, no, you don't. If it happens, it's going to happen natural without no help from you.
Jed, I'll be so sly about it, they won't even know I'm helping.
Mark will be in directly, so I'll go up and change.
Slip into a wedding dress, honey.
A what?
Granny means a pretty dress, darling.
Oh, yes, sir, Pa.
That was real sly, Granny.
Well, that was just a slip. But with Mark, I'll be as sly as a fox.
You'll be as quiet as a mouse.
Can't I even give a little hint?
Not one word.
Well, suppose he brings up the subject of marriage.
Well, that's different, but don't you start it.
Well, Mr. Clampett, I guess there's nothing standing in the way of our plans now.
He brought it up. He brought it up. Sit down, Mark, and we'll discuss this over a cup of coffee.
Fine.
Mark, what plans are you referring to?
Plans for our oceanography research.
Oh, them. You want a cup of coffee, Jed?
No, Granny. I'm going to fetch Mark that check for $48 million.
Oh, what a handsome dowry.
It's for research. And don't you forget your promise.
Don't worry about me, Jed. I'm going to be busy making pudding.
Fine. I'll be right back.
You like pudding, Mark?
You bet. What kind you making?
Well, let's see what we got here. Oh, dear. I spelt rice all over you.
That's all right. It won't hurt anything.
True, true. As a matter of fact, it's kind of fun having rice spilt all over you.
Here you are, Mark. This will pay for a lot of research. What do you got all over you?
Rice. I must look like a groom at a wedding.
He brought it up. He brought it up. All right, son, now let's get down to business.
Come on, Mark. We're getting out of here.
Bring him back, Jed. I kept my word.
Hey, Granny, you got anything to eat?
You like rice?
Yeah.
Here.
Ellie Mae, Mark is waiting in the parlor. He's got news for you.
What is it, Paul?
Well, I think I'll let him tell you.
What you want to tell me, Mark?
Ellie, I've decided to resign my commission and leave the Navy.
How come?
Well, actually, there's several reasons. Let's sit down and talk about it.
Well, Mark, I'll see you before you leave for San Diego. Granny.
What's going on in there? Is he going to pop the question?
I don't think so.
Well, let's listen and find out.
Oh, Granny. Mark's saying goodbye to Ellie.
Goodbye. After what he's done?
What's he done?
Let's listen and find out.
Let him alone. They want to talk. Mark's fixing to leave.
He can't leave with Ellie in that condition.
What condition?
Single.
I know this seems like a sudden decision, Ellie, but I really think it's for the...
Excuse me, y'all. Granny told me to fetch in this wood in case you want a cozy fire in the fireplace.
Jethro, there's already plenty wood here.
Besides, I'm just leaving.
You're too late to hear anything, Granny. He's leaving.
Granny! My goodness. How did I get in there? I must have fell asleep and Jethro piled wood on me.
No, I didn't. You said...
Get out of here, you nitwit!
Hey, what's going on?
I'm doing my best to keep him out of the parlor, Jed. I had to roust him out with a piece of firewood.
Granny, you're making me out to be one of the...
He's trying it again!
Well, Mr. Clampett, I'm really looking forward to working with you in our oceanography project.
Me too. I gave you the check, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Fine and dandy.
I'll stop at the bank on my way and open special account.
So long.
Well, Ellie, the last time you'll see me in uniform. In a few days, I'll be in mufti.
Good luck, Mark.
Oceanography Institute. Well, I see you've heard the news.
Right.
So Mr. Clampett's $48 million will be used for research.
Right.
Well, you don't seem very upset.
Right.
But, Chief, the $48 million will come out of your bank.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Right.
You're the treasurer of the Institute?
Right.
Who made that decision, you?
Right.
Chief, if you control the money, there'll never be a penny of it released for research.
Right.
Wrong.
Wrong?
Right.
Mark, my boy, welcome aboard. Oh, I'm glad we're going to be shipmates on this project.
Who made you treasurer?
Well, I volunteered.
Forget it.
What do you mean?
We've already elected officers. Mr. Clampetts president, and I'm treasurer.
Oh, you can't be treasurer. You're in the Navy.
I'm on my way to the base now to resign my commission.
You're leaving the Navy?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to devote my full time to this project.
Traitor, coward, deserter, yellow belly.
You know, Mr. Drysdale, I came here to deposit Mr. Clampetts' $48 million in a special account. But in view of your attitude, I think I'll do business with another bank.
I said it and I'll say it again. Coward, traitor, deserter, yellow belly. Hey! Sorry, Mark, I had to use such language in front of you, but she deserves it.
Man, you are not to be believed. Goodbye, Miss Hathaway.
Goodbye.
Oh, wait, Mark, wait. Now, you wouldn't do this to an old Navy buddy, would you? A wounded veteran? A hero? Oh, Spunky Drysdale?
I'm afraid I would, Skunky.
That's Spunky! Hold it, sailor!
Yes?
Up to now, respect for that uniform has held my temper in check. But this is it. Now take off that jacket and get ready for the thrashing of your life.
Gotta be kidding.
What's the matter, you afraid?
Of course not.
Then peel off that jacket.
This is ridiculous.
And don't think your size is going to give you an edge, buddy. It's speed and courage that's going to win this fight. You're up against a tiger. Now step outside. All right, Tiger. Now get out there and give him the thrashing of his life. She's small, but she's fast.
As you said, Lieutenant, he is not to be believed.
Tell me something, Miss Hathaway. What's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this?
Well, every normal woman likes to feel needed. And around here, the need for someone normal is tremendous.
I'm sorry I lost my temper, Lieutenant. I've cooled off now. I hope you'll accept my apology.
That's okay.
And I want to wish you and Mr. Clampett every success with your project.
Thank you.
Now, I hope your discharge from the Navy goes smoothly. And if I can ever be of any help, please let me know.
Well, thanks again. So long.
Goodbye, Lieutenant.
So long, mate.
Congratulations, Chief. When the chips were down, you took it like a man.
The taking was easy. The trick was getting his jacket.
You picked his pocket. You have sunk to the level of a petty thief.
Since when is 48 million petty?
I appreciate this opportunity, Miss Hathaway, but I'll never be able to take your place. You've been with Mr. Drysdale so long.
Too long. I should have left him years ago.
I'm sure I'll never be able to please him.
It's really very simple. First thing in the morning, simply bring him a stack of mortgages to be foreclosed, and he'll laugh merrily until noon.
What's going on in here? This is a private office.
I am merely briefing Miss Thompson on her duties as your new secretary. My resignation is on the desk.
You're leaving me?
Joyously, jubilantly, and belatedly.
But why? Where will you find another man like me to work for?
It won't be easy. Most of them are behind bars.
She doesn't mean it.
I'm afraid she does.
I have put it in writing. Read my resignation.
Mr. Drysdale, my conscience will not permit me to be associated with a man who has proven himself to be a liar, a cheat, a bully, and a coward.
I'll sue you for slander.
Please do. I can prove every charge I've made.
Now, look, Miss Hathaway, you're overwrought. How about a cooling off period? A vacation with Bay. A nice trip with all expenses on me.
Oh, Miss Hathaway, take it. Where would you send her?
Well, how about Venice?
Venice. It's beautiful.
Right. If she leaves now, she could be back at her desk at 4 o'clock.
To Venice and back?
Well, sure. You just drive out Wilshire Boulevard to the ocean. You make a left turn.
Forget it!
Well, how about Marineland? Hey, I've got a pass. Oh, Miss Hathaway, how can you leave a sweet man like me?
Huh?
You'll never be able to get another job like this. I'll blacklist you.
I couldn't care less. I'm going to relax completely and enjoy myself.
How? What'll you do?
I'll take a place at the beach. The grunion are running.
Grunion?
What are grunions?
Oh, they're little fish that appear on the beach at certain times of the year. They're expecting a record run.
Grunion coming tonight. Huge invasion predicted. Oh, I'll bet that's fun. Might I join you?
You might not. You're working late.
Oh, chin up, Helen. Outwardly, he may appear gruff and mean, but inwardly, he is completely rotten. Oh, and you might as well take this down. The moment Mark Templeton's out of the Navy, you're through. Top.
She's right. I've got to keep that boy in the Navy.
Do you plan to do something terribly rotten? If so, might I watch? I've never seen a real bounder in action.
Is that you, Mr. Drysdale?
Aye. I just wanted to shake your hand before shoving off.
Well, how come you to be got up like this and toting a gun?
I've been ordered to report combat ready by 1800 hours.
Combat ready? You fixing to fight somebody?
Our Navy is the first line of defense, Mr. Clampett. And with so many of the young men quitting now, just when they're needed, they're asking some of us old veterans to step into the breach.
Is our country in some kind of trouble?
You haven't heard?
Oh, Mark didn't say nothing.
Please, I wish you wouldn't mention that name.
Mark, why not?
Mr. Clampett, I am proud of the Navy and its tradition for bravery. And anyone who would quit at a time like this brings disgrace on all of us boys in blue. So if I don't come back, look after my wife.
Oh, wait a minute. What's going on?
You don't know about the grunion?
Grunion? I never heard of him.
Well, the Navy's been expecting trouble with them for years, and now it's here.
Grunion coming tonight. Huge invasion predicted. Does Mark know about that?
He's a lieutenant in the United States Navy.
Seems to me he picked a pretty poor time to quit.
You're taking it calmly. I thought Miss Hathaway was going to scratch his eyes out.
Sure enough?
Yes. When he announced he was resigning his commission to become treasurer of your oceanography project, she was speechless with rage. And when he tried to give her your check for deposit, she slapped it out of his hand.
Is that a fact?
And when, because of my friendship to you, I accepted it, she got so furious with me, she resigned.
No.
Yes, well, just listen to what she has to say about Mark Templeton. My conscience will not permit me to be associated with a man who has proven himself to be a liar, a cheat, a bully, and a coward.
It was harsh words.
You could just read it yourself. I'm sure you can recognize her signature.
That's it, all right.
Who are you talking to, Jed?
It's Mr. Drysdale. He's fixing to help the Navy fight off the grunion.
What's grunion?
Well, let Mr. Drysdale explain it to you. I got something to tend to.
They're a fierce, warlike people who are ready to invade us.
Where is they from?
Oh, they're from the island of Grun.
Well, if the Navy is fixing to fight them, how come Mark is getting out?
Because he's a yellow-bellied coward. And I wouldn't let Ellie Mae have anything to do with him unless he promises to stay in the Navy.
Mark, it's Jed Clampett speaking. There's something I want to ask you. Do you know about the grunion?
The grunion? Oh, sure. Some of my buddies are planning to go after him.
What about you?
No, not me. All I can think about is getting out of the Navy.
Thanks, Mark. You told me what I needed to know. Bye.
To tell the truth, I never have trusted that frog man.
Mr. Drysdale, I just talked to Mark down in San Diego.
You didn't?
Yep. And there's no doubt about it. That boy is yellow as a summer squash.
Huh? Oh, yeah,